hardly another topic that invokes so much anxiety and that's surrounded with so much confusion in the MBA application process than the topic of your undergraduate GPA. Candidates worry about it so much simply because it's something that you cannot change. It's set in stone. It's what it is. But just because that's the case, it doesn't mean that if you have a weak average GPA, you're not going to be able to get admission into a top MBA program. So here are the most important things that you need to know as you consider your undergraduate GPA. First of all, the GPA serves two purposes in the MBA admissions process. It is used as an indicator of your academic ability. How well are you able to handle academic material? Especially at the graduate level, there's an expectation that you should be able to be comfortable with a very rigorous academic curriculum that's very often heavily quantitative. And the second role of the GPA is it is factored into class profiles and also therefore into rankings. So a class profile with a high GPA is a source of pride for any school, and so is their very strong ranking. So now that you know what the role of the GPA is in the process, how do you compensate for a subpar GPA? Well, there are two parts to overcoming a weak GPA that's below the average for the MBA program that you're targeting. The first part is explanation and the second is mitigation. Explanation is needed pretty much every time when your GPA is below 3.2. But it might also be needed if your GPA is higher than that, but there are semesters where you had a lot of W's, where you got really low grades, or sometimes even if the trajectory of your GPA was gradually declining over the course of your studies. So these are the instances when you need to use the optional essay to shed some light as to what exactly happened. There's no need to make excuses, but what you want to do is provide some details so that the MBA admissions committee doesn't guess what happened, because if they have to guess, they might not guess in your favor, right? And the second part is mitigation. You need to give the admissions committee a reason to believe that you're not going to have suboptimal performance in their classes. How do you do that? The first thing, and usually the most effective, is to get a really strong test score on the GMAT or GRE, because this is used as an indication of how well you're prepared to handle graduate business school, but B, if your test is really strong, it's going to make up for your subpar GPA. So you're not going to need to have the admissions committee kind of turn a blind eye to two weak components of your application. Mitigation could also include alternative transcripts, something that has become very popular in MBA admissions. It's simply coursework, usually not going towards a degree, where you take it with the explicit intent to show to the admissions committee that you actually can handle the curriculum. Now, I know that you have more questions. I know that some of you want to ask questions about how international GPAs are converted and used in the admissions process, or what about GPAs that are not on a 4.0 scale, even if they are from a US school. And I also know that you're wondering if all GPAs are created equal, or if a GPA in a certain major or your GPA from your master's degree versus undergraduate degree are treated differently. All of this information you can find in the complete guide, which is in a link in the description to this video. You'll find all the answers and even some examples of how candidates have used the optional essay to overcome a below median GPA in the admissions process.